asking me questions, and while I'm answering questions, you could also do some exercises as well. I've prepared for you. And if you have anything that you don't understand, you can just open your mic, because I'll be on my virtual machine, so I couldn't be able to see the chat box. So if anyone also have a problem with his mic, anyone could just open his mic and tell me that someone asked a question, or you could just read the question itself. Okay. So now I'm gonna be talking about Tmux. Or let's say, okay, I'll do a couple of things before jumping into Tmux, so you could follow along. There is this really simple yet powerful command that I want to show you guys. It's what is. It basically tells you exactly what the command that you want to learn tells you what you want to know in a brief manner. So for example, let's say I say what is ls, for example. It will give you list directory contents. Just simple. If I say what is cd, or okay, there is nothing. What is, for example, cat. Concatenate files and print on the start output. So let's see what is Tmux. Tmux basically is a terminal multiplexer, and that means that you could have you could use the terminal and you could split it into multiple panes that I'm going to show you in just a minute. And it helps you really in multitasking and seeing everything that you need to see at the same time. And once you get the hang of using that tool, you will understand why is it powerful. And there's also something else on why Tmux is powerful that I'm going to share with you later in the session. So there are three things about Tmux. The first one is sessions, then panes, then windows. These are like the three main concepts in Tmux. So let's start with the first thing, which is the sessions. So to start the session,
guys, can you see the? Okay, because your screen, Tareq, was very zoomed, and then now it just.
I just made it full screen. Okay. So in order to start Tmux, you just type Tmux, and you could see here you have a green bar that's new. You could also start Tmux with new, Tmux new. You could also start Tmux new, and you could, okay, let's do this first, and then
Tareq, can you increase the font? People are asking.
Okay. This is good?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. You could also do Tmux, then new, and then S. S here means because we're starting a Tmux session, S here will you could have a name for the session. So for example, if I say my session, you could see here, now you have the name my session. And it will be beneficial to you later when I show you a couple of things. So now I have the first session. If I want to detach, I'll hit something called the prefix in Tmux. Basically, the prefix is Control B. So whenever I hit the prefix, which is Control B, Tmux now will listen to me and be aware that I'm gonna do something with Tmux. So if I hit Control B and after I hit Control B, I can release my keys. I hit D. That means it's detached. So Control B plus D is detaching. And if I want to see what sessions that I have now, I could do Tmux, then LS. Now I could see that there is a session that's running in the background called my session. So let's get back to that session. In order to do that, you could do Tmux. A, you could do attach, or A for shorthand, and then dash T. Dash T here means target. So you're targeting which session. Maybe you have multiple sessions and you want to have you want to attach one session specifically. So T is for target. So T, then my session. Now you're back to my session. You could also kill the session I've shown you, like exit. You could have Tmux kill session. And
Guys, can you see his screen or it is full screen with Tareq?
I can see his screen.
it's full screen, right?
You can see the full terminal or only part of it?
No, the full.
Full terminal.
Yeah, cool.
Full screen, right? Full
Yes.
terminal. Okay, then I'm the one who has the problem.
It sometimes zooms in and sometimes zooms out.
Wait, let me check.
Yes, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp, guy Tareq, so you can just figure out why it is happening. This is how your page looks like for us, for me, I mean. Maybe because of the layout problem.
No, it's working fine for me.
Yeah, looks fine here.
Okay, then it's only with us.
Guys, is everyone having the same issue as Abdullah, or is it just
No, I
Abdullah?
guess it's only me.
Mine is okay.
Okay, then I'm the one who has the problem. It's okay, go on.
So, okay, where was I? Okay, let's do some new sessions. Let's name this new session. And then let's Control B for the prefix, then release the keys, then we do D. That's why we've detached. So we do another session. And let's call this session 2. And then Control B, D for detaching. And let's see what we have. Okay, let's call it whatever. Control B, D. Now we have. So someone has the mic open. If
It's okay, I've dealt with it.
okay.
Okay, Tareq, just now when you pressed, did you press something just now?
Well, what do you mean, like for the screen itself?
Yeah, because for me and for Abdullah Ayman, it's the same thing. It goes full screen suddenly as I sent you, and then now your terminal is full. It's appearing full for me.
Okay, I think because I clicked the mouse. Okay, I think that's the case.
Okay, so maybe try to
Yeah, I'm not clicking the mouse.
to minimize or to minimize the terminal maybe. Yes, and then now you can just make it a little bit big, and that's it. I mean, not full screen. Yeah.
Okay. So now we have 3 sessions. The first one is 0. The second one is session 2. The third session is whatever. I want to, for example, kill the whatever session. I'll do kill session. then -T for targeting, and let's say whatever. And if I do Tmux ls, it will list that I have only 2 running sessions right now. So that's for sessions. So now let's go to the panes. The panes, let's first attach to session 2. The panes basically are like when you split the screen, you will have 2 sides. Each side is called a pane, okay? Pane, not pane, P-I-N, P-A-N-E-S, okay? So in order to do that, once again, we hit the prefix. The prefix is always Control B. So Control B. And then if we want to split it horizontally, vertically, we will press the percentage sign, which is number 5. So Control B plus percentage sign. And now we have 2 panes, as you can see. And if you want to split it horizontally, then we could do Control B again, like the previous command, but this time we will do double quotation. And that way we could have it multiple screens, split into it like this way. And we could do exit, for example, or Control B plus X if you want to kill the pane. And also, let's say, okay, let's do Control B and we do it like this. I want to, for example, resize it. So I'll do Control B, always Control B. Remember this one, the prefix is always Control B. Control B, and now Tmux is listening to us. It's about to, we're about to do something with Tmux. If I do like the arrow keys to the left, I could change where I'm going, which pane I'm controlling. And if I want to resize it, for example, let's say I want to make the left one smaller, I could do Control B, and then now Tmux is listening to me. I'll do Control, and I'm gonna play with the arrow keys. So I'm gonna go to the left, so it changes. Left, right, left, right. This is for resizing. And for example, let's say there is something important going on in the left pane. I'll change there, and then I'll do again Control B, and then Z. Z is for zooming. And if I want to zoom out, I'll hit the same keys again, Control B and Z. So I could have the layout as it was. And this is for panes. If I want, for example, let's say now let's see Windows. Windows is basically like it's the equivalent of the tabs you have in Google Chrome. Okay, so in order to create a new window, you will hit the prefix, which is again Control B, and then you will do C. So Control B plus C. C is for create window. And you can see here we have 2 windows. We could rename those windows so it will be better for you to organize things. And I'll do Control B again, and then I'll hit the comma. So now, as you can see now, it changed the color and it's telling me rename window. So I could change it to anything I want. So let's say my new window. And now you have here my new window, and here you have badge. And this little star, it tells you which window you're in. So let's go to this one, for example. In order to do that, again, we will do the prefix Control B, and in order to change to the first window, we will have we will need to press 0. You can see here you have now the the star, it's now on the first one. But let me first, to make it easier for you, let me change the layout here. Okay. This one has this kind of layout, right? If I want to, again, go to the new window, I'll do Control B, and then I'll press 1, because this window is 1, as you can see here. And now I'm in this window. And if I want to go back, Control B, 0. So now we have navigated through the windows. And if I want to, for example, let's say I want to kill the window. If, for example, this one, I could hit exit, 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 and this window will be shut down, and I'll have only this window. But if I want to, for example, immediately shut the window all itself, I could do Control B, and then the ampersand, which is on letter 7. So Control B, then Shift 7, so I could kill this window. And you can see here, kill window bash, yes or no. So I'll kill it, and now I have only one window. So these are the general concepts of Tmux. Later I'll revisit Tmux to show you something more powerful than just multitasking. But for now, I've given you exercise. This green this green color text is the actual command that you can try now. And if anyone has a question about Tmux, he can ask me. Just open the mic and ask me.
Okay, guys. So now try to do these things with your Tmux. Open your terminal. I believe Tmux is also installed by default on ParrotOS and on Kali,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. If it's not installed in Kali, let us know so we can tell you how to install it.
Tareq, what's the point from splitting?
Okay. Let me go back. I hope I want to make it full screen because I want to show you how we can use it. So let's say, for example, I want to make new, and let's call it multitasking. Let's say I want to, I could do it in a way like, for example, let's see. So let's say, for example, in a real scenario, let's say, for example, attack defense CTF, okay? So I could, one of the things that I could do, like, for example, I could use, okay, let's see. I'm going to use htop. Htop, it's a process viewer, okay? So let's say, for example, I want to make htop, and I want to make it the time. For example, let's give an example. Let's say I'm playing attack defense CTF. This will be the processes that are running in my machines that I'm defending, and I want to see which new processes are coming. So I'm doing it with the I'm sorting it by the newest process that's coming. So I could see if anyone tries to initiate a new process that's malicious, okay? And here on this pane, I could have, for example, let's say I'm trying to exploit the machine, I'm attacking another machine. And this one, I could, for example, let's say I've seen a new process that's coming. I could, for example, investigate that process and see what's doing in my machine. So I could have like a view on what's happening without trying to open a new windows, because if you open multiple windows, it will be hard for you to see everything that's happening, because you want to see everything in real time. So for example, also if you have, for example, okay, let me.
Tariq, can you just share the picture of the slide for the exercise on the group, and then you can continue on.
Okay.
I'll take a screenshot to save time. Okay, you can go ahead and with the explanation.
Okay, so we could also have, like, for example, let's say I'm playing a normal box. We've seen in the previous session, not the previous, the first, I think the first session, we've seen the scanning techniques, right? We could have, like, to save time, for example, we could have two screens. So let's say I have two screens, and let's rename that screen to, the window, let's say recon. So this window will be all about recon scanning and see what the target has from information that we could use. So I could go, for example, here I do nmap scan, and down there I could do go buster, for example, and that way I'm gonna save time by seeing everything happening in real time and seeing what value I could get from the information that I have. So I think this explains about the multitasking, because really, if you get the hang of Tmux and practice doing these commands and knowing what to do, then you will save a lot of time, and you will be very efficient while doing these type of things. So I'll wait for maybe 2 minutes. If everyone is done with this exercise, I could continue. Okay. I think everyone is done, and it's okay if you didn't finish the photos on the group, so you could do the exercise later if you want.
Excuse me, I can't do the splits. Can you repeat it again? I tried the control plus P and like I don't know. I tried it, but I couldn't do it.
Control plus B, B for book.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
Okay, Control
but I
B.
couldn't do it.
Control B. Press Control B.
And
Then Shift and the %, because you cannot have the % if you didn't press the Shift. Shift and 5. The number 5. Did it work for you?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, again. First you press Control B.
Then release
Now
the keys.
And then you take your hand off Control and B. Just press them once.
Okay.
And then you take your hand off, and then you press Shift and number 5, which is the %. Sorry, the percentage %. It's not the %. The percentage. Number 5. Sorry. Number 5. The percentage. Did it work?
Nope.
Okay. Again.
It worked for me now.
Okay, it worked for you now. Okay. Again, Osama. You are in the Tmux session, right?
I'm in the Parrot. Yes.
Did
I
you
opened
write
the terminal.
Okay, and then after the terminal, write Tmux. Write the first command. Enter the session of the Tmux. It's on the group. Tmux new -s and then your name.
Okay. Tmux.
Space
How
new,
do I write Tmux? Okay.
and then space -s. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And then space and then any name. XYZ, whatever the name is. Okay, maybe so now if you see down on the screen, there is something green, right? Called bash star. Right? In your terminal, there is a green line down, right?
No.
Okay, Tareq, you can
I
go
think
on.
I did something wrong.
I think.
I will talk with Osama on private.
Okay.
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 Okay. So let's talk about local shells first. Local shells is okay. There is like a misconception, or not misconception, misunderstanding, especially for people who are just starting out. It's like, for example, they're saying this is a shell, and then they, for example, say it's also a terminal. So which is right, the terminal or the shell? So to make it simple, the window itself, it's the terminal, and the program here, it's the shell. Okay, so a good analogy that I thought of is like, let's say the terminal is like the body of the car, and the shell is like the engine. It's what makes it work. Okay, so let's go here. The formal definition. Shell is the program which provides the interface between the user and the operating system. That means that shell will allow you to interact and manipulate and control the operating system, from files to processes, things like that. And we have different type of shells. I'm just gonna go quickly on each one because I want to make this a practical session. So for it, we had the Bourne shell, which is in SH, and it was the first Unix-like shell. Then after that, shortly, I think maybe like 4 years, we had the C shell. The C shell had syntax like C, and then after that we had the corn shell, which was like the better version of Born. Then we had the Born shell there, the first one. Then we had the Born again shell, which is like the combination of these two but better. And then we had lately the Z shell, and the Z shell is the modern type of shell. In fact, if you type in, let's do Kali default shell. If you go to the news, the latest version, which was released 2 days ago only, says that the new default shell it's Z shell. That's because it has lots of great features, and everyone knows that this one is better than the older one, which is Bash. So these are like few of the types that we have in our computer. So I could also, for example, I could list them. For example, I say cat etc shells. It will show me the shells that I have in my in my computer. And also, for example, I want to know which type of shell I'm running right now. So I could do, for example, echo shell, and currently right now I'm having bash. I'm going to talk about bin, because this might confuse you why bin. And I could also, for example, another way to see the shell, I could also cat and password. And now you might think that inside this file there is passwords, but ironically there is no passwords here, it's just users. And you can see here for the root user, it's running bin bash, as you can see here. So again, closing. Okay, so I could also view it from NV. I'll do first, like I've shown you, what's NV. NV here, it runs a program in a modified environment. It's not a great explanation, but I'll try to explain it much better. So, okay. These are environment variables. I'll talk briefly about it because it's not the scope of this session. But think of this as the settings for your terminal, okay? And it gives you information. So if you could see the first thing here, you have shell. And currently the shell that's configured here, it's bash. And let's talk now about bin. Okay. Okay. Well, first let's go to bin itself. If I show you here, you could see that I have lots of green things here, right? These are like called binaries. Bin stands for binaries. But what exactly is binary, right? This is like a foreign word to you, maybe. So if I do, okay, I'm gonna use another command called file. So what is file? File here, it determines the type of the file. So let's take one of the files here. Let's take LF. Let's take LS. if I do file ls, it will give you these weird things. Don't worry about it. But see this one, elf. If I do what is elf, it shows you that it's format for executable and linking format files. Basically, it's the executables that you have on your machine that you could run it, basically. So if I do, for example, like this, it will show me everything. And if, let's say, I want to see what's inside ls, you can't understand anything, right? Basically, these are binaries, and let's go. Closing. Okay, CyberX. Let's create a binary, so you could actually understand what's a binary. So let's call the binary my program. Okay, I'm gonna use I'm gonna use a text editor. Okay, it's called view. Let's call it my program.cbv. Okay, let's do a normal hello. It will, okay. Okay, let's say hello. This is my program. Okay. So now I have a file, a CBV file called my program, right? If I cap this, you will see that it's just normal code. Now, in order to have a binary, we need to compile it. I believe like everyone have used dev C++ and this kind of programs where you just press a button and you compile it, right? So let's compile it here. So I'll use something called G++. Let's see here. It's called it's project C compiler. So I'm just gonna compile it. So I'm gonna do G++, then my program. Then I'll do -o. It's for the output. What I want to name that binary. So I'll do my program, and you could see we have now a file with the green color, and now it's a binary. So if I see the difference between the two, this will say that it's a C++ source and it's readable because ASCII can read ASCII. And then if I do my program, it's a binary, it's an executable file. So now I could execute what I've written here through this file. And let's see, okay, I've shown you here that of the content. Let's see the content of my program, the green one. So I do my program. You have something that I don't understand even. Okay. Let's run it. And as you can see, we have hello, this is my program. And let's move it to the let's move it. Let's move it here.
Actually, you know, I'm not sure what about your terminal, but in Parrot OS, if you write please, it's an alias for sudo. And also, and you know, there is even worse words for pseudo aliases. But yeah, guys, I just want to explain something. Here, Tariq, he tried to first move the directory, and then they told him permission denied, and this is because users on the Linux. Or it's not on Linux, everywhere. In computer, in Windows, you right click and then run as administrator. Because when you are an administrator, you are like an admin. You have more authorities than the normal user. So the same thing with Tariq, he didn't have he couldn't do it because he was a normal user. But then he did sudo, which is exactly the same as run as administrator, and then he entered his password, which is the administrator password, and then he is able to run his command. Okay. Go
I
ahead,
want to
Tariq.
add one thing, Abdullah. So, in Parato S, it's actually really good to the point you don't have to type ls. You can just type L, and that would still list.
Exactly, aliases.
Okay. Now I've moved the file. If I go there, for example, let's say bin, and I'll just grep to just find the file. So I could do my program. I could find it here. It's there in. It's here, but what I've did here, this command just to filter everything here and just get the output that I want, which is my program. So if I do, like, for example, my program, it runs now. And if I go back, for example, I do my program, now it runs. It's just, now currently it's configured just like the ls or the cd or any command that you're using in Linux. So because there is something called path variable, but I'm not gonna talk about it because it's like a subject on its own. Okay, but just know that if I put anything in the bin folder, now it will run as ls or anything. So let's go back to CyberX and let's move bin program to here. Okay. So, okay, one last thing. I've shown you like the programs, how to run it and stuff like that, right? If you and I didn't talk about bin bash. Bin bash, it's just like, it's like, for example, if I do bin bash, it's the same thing. It's an executable file. It's a program basically. So if, currently the shell that I'm using is bash, right? And I've shown you just a couple of minutes. So if I've done, like, for example, now if you could notice this has changed, right? This is because now I'm in another shell. This is about the local shells. So for example, now I'm using the Z shell, and just a couple of minutes I was in the bash shells, right? And each one has a feature and sort of characteristics that differentiate each one from another. So I could exit from that. And basically, once you give, for example, any shell, any type of shell, for example, Z shell, if you give it commands, it will show you an output based on the process that has been done based on the input that you've given to the shell. So this is about the local shells. It's just basically a program that you give input and it will give output, and yeah. Let's now talk about something else which is very important in pen testing and networking and computer science in general, which is IP addresses and ports. A good analogy to this, if you have trouble differentiating between the two, think of, let's say, the network, okay? The network, it's like a neighborhood. In the neighborhood, you will have multiple buildings. These are the IP addresses. So the network, let's say this is a representation of a network. Each building is IP address. Okay, so the network is a collection of IP addresses, and in that IP address, you will have something called ports. So the IP address will basically be a host. Host is basically a device, whether it's a PC, your mobile phone. It's just host means a device. So if there is a host that's attached or assigned to that IP address, you will have something inside of the IP address or the host. It's called the application. So, or let's say, okay, the IP address has multiple ports. It's just like, for example, you have the building, and inside the building, you will have multiple apartments. These apartments are the representation of ports. So, for example, if you want to go for a specific port, first you will need to see which neighborhood, right? Which network. Then you will go to the building. That building is the IP address. Then inside the building, you will see which port number. Okay. So another example which will make it more clear to you is just, let's say, for example, you just entered CyberX, right? And you just learned about Kali and installing virtual machines and whatnot. So what you're gonna do is you've done it, I'm sure. It's you went to the Kali Linux download page, for example, and you're downloading Kali Linux, right? At the same time, you're opening a video tutorial on YouTube on how to configure Kali Linux and stuff like that. Now there are two things that's running, right? You have the Kali Linux, downloading the Kali Linux, and watching the video. How does the when there's like the data that's been downloaded, the package that's coming to your laptop, how does it know which service or application to go? To go to the packet, will it go? Is it for YouTube, the video, or these packets are for the Kali Linux that you're downloading? So this is why ports are important. It will tell the packets which way to go, which application to head to. Okay, so for example, let's say the downloading will have a random port number. Let's say 4444. Okay, that's the port number, and that way the download is happening to now the application will know that 444 is for downloading Kali Linux, and let's say for the YouTube video, it's 333. Okay, so it will exactly know which way to go. This is the why ports are important, to know which application the packets that's coming to your laptop will go to. Okay. So I think that's for the IP addresses and port numbers. Let's go to NetCat. Okay. For this one, I'm gonna use I'm not sure what's happening with Kali, but okay.
It's another machine running. You can close it. There's another machine running.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. You want to run 2 instances at the same time, or maybe we can try to close this one and open a new instance.
I just want to.
Power off the machine, yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why Kali stopped working. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about NetCat. I'm just gonna open the terminal here. Let's see let's say for example it's your first time knowing about NetCat. Let's use what we've learned, which is what is, and NetCat, the tool itself, it's abbreviated into NC. There are also multiple versions and types for NetCat. I'll be talking about another one specifically later, but let's do what's NC. So as you can see, it says TCP Swiss Army knife. TCP, I think you have a background on this one, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, NetCat, it's like a general purpose TCP connection. Now you could initiate TCP connection through NetCat, and you could use also UDP, but the general purpose, it has multiple usages for NetCat, and that's why it's very well known that it's called the Swiss Army knife. And
if I may add, Tareq, it's for the new guys. It's as I explained to you in the bridging workshop, that the way the internet works or any connection works, there is the client, and there is the server. So in between you and the server, there is a connection. So to deal with or to create this connection between you and some server outside the world, you need a tool to help you doing this. So NetCat is the tool that helps you doing that. And they said Swiss Army knife because it's a tool for everything. It has so many options that can help you control this connection, initiate it, and deal with it, and send and receive stuff during that connection. The mic is for you, Tareq.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be demonstrating three. There are also other things that you can do with NetCat, but I'll do these three things because I think they are important. So the first one is banner grabbing. Let's do. What can we do? Okay, let's do. Before that, I want to show you the other version of NetCat, which is much better than NC. It's called NCAT. NCAT. The people who made NCAT, they're the same people who did Nmap. If you've seen the scanning techniques workshop, and it has it has other features than the normal NC. And I'll be using that version all throughout this session. Okay, so let's do, as I've said, let's do banner grabbing first. So, okay. So the first thing, as I've told you, is that it initiates TCP connections. So when I do this, I'll have a connection. It will do the three-way handshake with the website, and then the website will be listening. It will only be till the TCP layer. Okay. So if I do this, now it's connected till the TCP layer, the transport layer. So now we have another layer, which is the application layer, right? And since this is a website, I'll do the website request. So this is the HTTP request. If you don't have any background about HTTP, it's okay. I'm just showing you about how to do it and demonstrate it basically. So I'll do HTTP, the version. Basically, you'll get this one means the directory, the root directory of the website, basically the homepage. And
Can you increase the font?
okay, 1 second.
You can't. Oh, you can. Okay, now it's pretty clear for me.
Okay. So now it's connected. The website is now connected, right? So it's now listening for any HTTP request that we can create. So now I'm creating an HTTP request, which is basically in basic language, give me this website. Okay, give me the homepage of this website. So I'll do get HTTP, then I'll specify the host, and let's say, for example, okay, this would tell the request basically a specification that I want this website. Okay, so as you can see here now, this is the website itself, the content, and what I've done here is just I've initiated a connection with NetCat through the till the transport layer. Then I've added another request for the application layer to get the content of the website. So we could see here the website, the header of the HTTP request, and we could have valuable information from this request, such as, let's say, for example, let's say, okay, the server. We can know that this website is running Amazon Web Services. And what else? Okay, so this is port 80, right? And it's I've chosen this site specifically because it's never SSL, because it's it doesn't have an encrypted connection. So let's try and do an encrypted one. But I'm gonna use another thing, and this is just for demonstration, just to give you an idea about the connections and stuff like that. And you don't need to know everything here. You just need to understand. Okay. So I'm gonna use something called OpenSSL. OpenSSL basically it's related to certificates that you have in your website and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna initiate a connection with Google, and because Google is encrypted, 433 is for the port number for the encryption. So I do this, and the first thing you can see, you have like certificate. This is for just for the encryption. Okay, that's the difference between the first one and the second. So next you get and the host. And basically what we got here is the content of the website, source code. You can go all the way up. You can also see protocol, TLS. TLS is the SSL. It's the same thing but have different names. And what else can we get from this? We could see post handshake after we've initiated the connection, the TCP connection. And yeah, I think this is for the connection, like showing you the difference and things like that. Okay. We could also get, like I've said, we can get valuable information from banner grabbing. Let's take, for example, but let's do this website, okay? And the version port, the port, I mean, it's 18. Now we initiate connection. Let's do, okay. You can also see here the server. The server is running Apache, and we have the version number. Version numbers are important in a couple of things, but it's not, I'm not going to talk about this in this session. But just know that version numbers in any service, in any application, it's very important. These kind of things are important information for pen testing and stuff like that. So we could also do another one thing. Let's see a different port number. We could also see that we have OpenSSH with this version, and the version numbers are important, like I said. And I think this is for banner grabbing. Let's do the next thing, which is client server chatting. Okay. Okay. Let's go to host 1. And let's use what we've learned in the beginning of the session. Let's use Tmux, okay? Tmux client server. And let's split it, okay? We have now two panes. Basically, what we can do with another thing that we can do with NetCat is that we can have a connection that's persisting, that's running. Basically, it's not gonna die out. And through that tunnel, the connection, you could send data, like for example, let's do a chatting. So I'm gonna just send through that connection basically words, and the other side will see that the messages. So for that, let's do here. Okay. So I'm gonna explain the options. So the first thing we have, it's -L. L here, it's listening mode. Okay, so you will have someone that's listening and the other one is connecting. That's how connection works. So I could also, okay, I'm going to show you another tip. I could do, for example, NCAT. This will give me the NCAT, right? The manual page. I could also pipe it. Basically, everything that's gonna be outputted will go to the next command, which is great. Because I want to, because the map page, if you've seen the map page, there is a lot of things there. So what I'm gonna do is that I just want specific information that I need. So I'm gonna grep, and then I'll do this. I did this slash here because I want the dash to be red. So that's why I did it. So now I could see the L here, what you can do with L. And just to make it better. Okay, because Tmux, okay. You can see here, listen. So okay, let's try now and do listen. Now it's listening, right? But you don't know what's happening right now. So there is another option. It's called V. V here, it means verbose. Verbose means it will give you more information about what's happening. And by the way, I could use NC and NCAT interchangeably, okay? But let's stick with NCAT. So now you could see that there are more information. No, it basically gives you feedback and you will know what's happening, which is very important, okay? I could also, for the options thing, I've shown you like this, right? You could just have one dash here and you could just put every option together and the same thing will happen. And by the way, okay, I'm doing, now it's listening, right? If I want to stop it, I'm just gonna hit Control and C. This will stop the process. It's like that. So now we know L and V. L is for listening and V is for verbose to get more information. And when we do L, there is something that we need also to specify, which is P, the port number. Because when you make a connection, like I've said, this data, how will it go? How will it go to this specific connection that you want to initiate? So I can do P, and I have could do 1, 2, 3, 4. This will tell the connection here to that the connection is in 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to get this connection, go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's listening. So there's also another thing. Now we've done the listening part, right? Let's do the actual connection, the connecting to this host one. So I'll do NCAT again. This time I need to specify the port number. I mean the IP address. Currently now, right now, because I'm doing everything here in my laptop, so everything now is on the local host. Local host, the IP address for the local host is 127.0.0.1. It never changes, okay? And then, okay, now I have the IP address. Now, where should I go? Which, like I've said in the analogy, I now have the building. I know the building, but which apartment should I go? This is the port number, why we need port number. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll also specify something -v here also to get more information about what's happening, because you need that because it's very important. And then you can connect. And as you can see, we have feedback saying that it's connected, and here now it's also connection has been established. So if I say, okay, let's say now everything, the connection now with the tunnel, it's already been set. Now I can send data. So I could do hi, for example. You could see hi, it's here. And if I go here to the other pane, and again, to go to the other pane, we hit the prefix Control B, and then we go left, and then I'll do hello. I didn't press enter, right? See here, just notice what will happen when I do enter. As you can see, we have the data, it came to this side also. So I could say bye, and I could also hit bye, and then Control C to stop the connection. And I think this is for the client and server chatting. Basically, you have you did a tunnel, and through that tunnel you send data back and forth. Okay. Okay. We have file transfers. Okay. I'll do file transfers. Okay, now. Okay. So for the file transfers, basically transferring files is very important because you want, for example, let's say you get an access to the target machine, and the target machine doesn't have enough tools that could help you get more control over the machine. Okay, so you need some tools and to make things easier. And also at the same time, you have, for example, let's say you have in the target machine, you have valuable information that you want to get out to your machine. So you want to send it back to your machine. So NetCat can also do this for us. There are also multiple applications and services that you can use to transfer files, but I'm just showing you NetCat because NetCat has powerful things that you can do with. So for the file transfers, basically what you're gonna do is that you're gonna do also a connection. First, basically, let's see. Let's get this txt file to the target machine, okay? And let's get that file. It's a normal txt file, and it has basic text saying this is a tool for the attacker, okay? And I want that tool to be in the target machine so I could have more power in that machine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do NCAT, and then I'm gonna do listening again, and then V for verbose to get more information about what's happening, and then P because we're now listening. We need to specify the port to know where to connect to. Then we go do the port number, which is, let's say, 999 here, and then do this. I'll explain what's happening here. Basically, what's happening here, this thing, when you create a connection, when you have a listening port, once the listening ports connect with someone, it will deliver whatever whatever is here to the person that has been connected. So whenever someone connects to this to this port, it will give them this immediately. Okay. And for the other side, we can do in cat. And since we are in the local machine, we always need to specify the IP address when we need to connect. So for the local machine, the IP address is always 127.0.0.1. Okay. And here we will do the opposite. Okay. So once we will connect with this thing, with the port here, we will put whatever that's gonna get to us to a specific place. So that specific place, let's call it, but first let's put the port number. So that specific place that we want to put the things in, let's call it tool.txt. Okay. So again, once this will connect to this port, this will give immediately will give him this file. It will deliver it to him, and in order for him to receive it, he needs to specify the arrow sign to tool that we can do. We can change this to whatever we want. Okay, just a location or a place to put what's the data that's gonna come to us. So if I do this. Okay. Okay. Okay, I didn't. Okay, that's why. See, that's why verbose is important. So you know that what's happening, because I didn't press enter. I didn't. This one was not listening. So again, I do this. And by the way, if you want to go back to the commands that you've done before, you could just do the arrow key up. So you could go back to whatever that you've typed. So now it's connected, right? And then once it's connected, let's close the process. And we can see here that we have the file. And if we do the file, we could see here. We could see here that this is the file has been transferred. Okay. I think because of the time doesn't allow us to do the other things. Okay. So I think we could, because of the time, let's stop it here. And
all right, Tariq, if you thank you very much. First, it's really been helpful. Do we have much left?
yeah, we didn't talk about remote chats. Maybe part two.
Okay. We would allocate a whole session for this. There is no problem with that. Maybe not the next session, the one after.
Yeah, after that, I think.
Yeah, the one after it, but because as we promised, guys, we will be just taking 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I've shared the Google form in the meeting. Please, guys, as fast as possible, because we're done. Thank you very much for coming today, and we looked back at your feedbacks, and we, as Tariq was doing, he was explaining very slowly, and we left you another form for today's attendance, so we can register your merit credits, and we want your feedback as well, so we can improve ourselves in the upcoming workshops. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, guys, and help us grow. Help us, for example, when we've shared one good tip, and we're keeping this weekly schedule for doing 1 tip per week. So if you share this tip with your friends on your story, we're going to get engagements from different people, and this is going to help us grow our social media account and our social media appearance. So this is the form in the Google chat. please fill in your details. And thank you very much for coming today. And thank you very much, Tareq, for this workshop. It's really been helpful.
No worries. I'm glad that people know something.
And even for those who had a problem with the Tmux, I've already talked with them through private message, and they all were able to deploy it by the end. So we're good. Okay, if it's done, Joe, then you can leave. If you guys did, then you can leave. And don't forget, guys, to help us on Instagram by sharing and liking and interacting with us. And Facebook as well, if you're not a fan of Instagram. Okay, guys, if anyone did scan his attendance, then he can leave. I'm going to stop recording now.